Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and I was going to make this video last month, but I just really wasn't up to it. This kind of stuff just, I don't know, it's not right. So last month was so-called Pride Month, and this is the stuff they do, introducing this stuff into a kid's programming. Look at that. Now, if this was an adult TV show like Family Guy or King of the Hill or uh, the kid with the show with the kids are swearing and everything, South Park, I would be okay with it. But this is stuff geared to kids. Why would you even think of introducing this kind of stuff in a kid's show? They did it with Sesame Street last month. They did it with Arthur a few years back. Let me see if you remember that cartoon Arthur. They did it with Mr. Ratburn, the principal. And right here. And this stuff is just, it's too much, man. And if the rumors are true, they're doing it again in this new Master of the Universe cartoon. Aside from that business, which I'll get into later. Rumor has it that now Tila is going to be gay. And I'm just so, I don't understand why they have to push this agenda in every single TV show that comes out. And it's one thing if it was just a gay character and that was it. I tell you, one of the best shows that ever had a good gay character in it was My So-Called Life. If you remember that show from back in the mid-90s, if you're my age, maybe you were in high school when it came out, or just almost out of high school when it came out, then you remember the character Ricky. And at the time the show came out, I didn't know he was gay in real life. I thought it was just, he was just written for that role. But I think I saw him on Oprah, and he is gay in real life. Now, maybe because he's gay in real life, maybe he had a hand in writing that character. But that was the best written character that I've ever seen in a TV show that was gay. Because they didn't try to shove that into every single episode. It was just that, okay, Ricky was gay, and that's it. But this stuff nowadays, man, every single TV show, whether it's network TV or the streaming stuff, every single has something to do with somebody being gay or lesbian. Even that new Fear Street miniseries, which I was really wanting to watch because I read the Fear Street novels growing up. I dabbled in the Goosebumps. They're a little too kiddie for me. So I read the Fear Street, and I even got a chance to meet R.L. Stine back in Virginia, Woodbridge, Virginia, back I think 2000 or '01. So almost 20 years ago, I got the chance to meet him at a book signing. So I was really interested in watching the new Fear Street miniseries until I heard that one of the characters in there is gay. And none of that stuff is even in those Fear Street novels. None of those characters are gay in that book, in those books, unless they He's got some new ones out that I don't know about. But the ones that came out in the 90s and late 80s, none of those characters are gay in that book. But yet they have it in their head that, oh, we have to shoehorn this gay character in a movie. We have to shoehorn this black character into a movie. We got to shoehorn this strong female character into a movie. And I've got no problem with strong female characters. I like Ellen Ripley from the Alien series. I like Sarah Connor. Uh, what else? I like who's that chick from the first Freddy movie? The first one or two or three Freddy movies. Not Nancy McKeon. Nancy, whatever her name is. McKeon is the chick from The Facts of Life, but Nancy, she also played in that TV show, Just the Ten of Us. Uh, Nancy is her name from the movie. Her real name is Heather Langenkamp. But she's a good, strong female character. So I've got no problem with strong female characters. I got no problem with strong black characters. Apollo Creed, uh, Harrington from The Predator 2. Uh, who else? Dozens of, I can't think of it at the top of my head, but dozens of good black characters in movies. But they don't have to shoehorn a black character in there or do some race swapping nonsense like that new Michael B. Jordan movie. I think it's The Sum of All Fears or one of those Tom Clancy books they reimagined. Or was it Sum of All Fears? Whatever one that just came out last month or so on Amazon. Why is it that they feel the need to race swap characters? They did it with Nick Fury. And yes, I know from the Marvel Max comics, Nick Fury is black. But I'm not talking about those. The original comics, Nick Fury is a white guy. Why do they need to always race swap stuff? If you can't honor what came before, don't do it. Make up your own characters. I don't understand that. I don't want to see a black Bruce Wayne. I don't want to see a black Peter Parker. I don't want to see a black James T. Kirk. I don't want to see a black Kojak, which they did. I don't want to see a black Equalizer, which they did. And I didn't watch the movies. I didn't watch the TV show with Queen Latifah. So I don't know if they actually used Edward Woodward's character's name. But if they did, I don't want to see it. Because that particular character is a white guy. If you want to use a black character, then bring in another character who just happens to do, but don't call him, I forgot the character's name right now, but don't use Edward Woodward's character's name and make the character black or a black female. Don't do that. You want to make money off these properties, then respect the way they are. I see they've got that new Little Mermaid as a black chick. Why? Last time I remember, that character was white. Dig up the old, I believe it was Hans Christian Andersen that wrote that story. Dig up his original work. I'm sure you can find it on Google, and I'm sure it says the character is white. I don't understand why they have to sit there and race swap stuff constantly. I don't understand that. And now all of a sudden, you get this business. What is this nonsense? He-Man is now black. Why? Why do you feel the need to do that? Let me tell you, I was growing up in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Okay, I was born in the late 70s, grew up in the 80s. And I watched tons of TV shows, movies that did not have a single black character in them. I played multitude of video games that didn't have a single black character in them. And you know what? Not one time did I get upset. Not one time did I say, man, if that character would have been black, he would have been way cooler. No, because that stuff didn't bother me. I was more interested in the story. And I don't understand why people get this notion that, oh, if we shoehorn a black character in there, it'll make it more awesome. If you have to rely on that and not your story, then you need to hire new writers. How about that? And if it's not race swapping, then you're making characters gay and all that kind of nonsense. Stop doing that to kids' shows. I don't know why they have to do that. Well, yes, I do know why, but if I had kids, they wouldn't be watching this trash. They would not be watching it. And if you would do that to the He-Man cartoon, if you would do that to Arthur, if you would do that to Sesame Street, I hate to say it this way, but I'm so glad that Fred Rogers of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood has passed on. Because what would they have him doing in his show now? Would they have him promoting this agenda? I bet you $1 they would. And I'm so glad he's passed on now because I grew up watching Sesame Street. I grew up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I grew up watching the original Masters of the Universe. I grew up watching the old Mr. T cartoon, G.I. Joe cartoon, and they all had fine morals after every episode. Nowadays, these kids don't learn anything because their TV shows are full of crap, garbage, and there's no morals in any of their cartoons nowadays. It's just filth, 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 and more filth. And you can say, well, you're just too old and this. I don't care. If I live in the past, then so be it. You know? That's why I hardly ever watch anything new nowadays. I go back and I watch the old stuff that I grew up watching as a kid. I get more enjoyment out of stuff that's 30, 40, 50, 60 years old than the stuff that came out yesterday. Because I'm sick of watching stuff that's full of leftist propaganda, you know? Oh, because you support this candidate or this ideology, you're an idiot, you know? I'm sick of that stuff. Or if you don't support this particular way of thinking, then you're stupid. You're an imbecile, you know? And I had some more stuff to say, but it slipped my mind. So I'll just end this video with this. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.